What's up, y'all? We're back. Another episode. Smartest Guy in My Head podcast. Workhorse Media Group. Like, share, subscribe, comment, engage, all that. Hey, did y'all just see that? Did y'all just see what I saw? Because I'm confused. All summer of 2020, when the protests and all were going on, the only energy I got back from the other side is, oh man, shouldn't be destroying property. Look at all the looting. It's just criminals. If you just abide by the law, do what the officer says, then you wouldn't be in this situation. Blue Lives Matter. All that. That was all of that opposing energy balled into one. And now, oh boy, the rabbits got the gun. Quite literally. Because a group of radical Republicans, and I don't even want to call them Republicans, I want to call them Trump followers. That's because that's what they are. I mean, they vote Republican, but I don't even want to put that on the Republican Party. Those are trumpets doing that. And they saw fit to storm the Capitol building, not the White House. Okay, they didn't storm the White House, not the Capitol, but the Capitol building where legislative decisions get made. They were in there counting and seeing if Joe Biden was going to win the election for like the fourth time. So they were doing that. And these trumpets stormed the Capitol building. I mean, break windows. They destroy property in there. They are looting. You see this dude waving at the camera? That's hilarious, right? But where was the same energy that was given to people protesting police brutality and systemic racism and all the other things that went on? All the other things that went on in 2020, those type of things, it was wrong to do so. But because you've been told that the election has been stolen, you want to go riot. You can't just take a loss, right? This is crazy to me. And this is why we say, dude gotta go. Donald Trump gotta go. He had to go and he's gone. This is why this dude is on his second impeachment. The only president to get impeached twice. And this is a matter, this ain't even been a year. This man has got a second impeachment. What are we doing? This is what happens when we're led by a guy, a racist man, that he don't even know how to hide it anymore. I don't even think he cares about hiding it. No, he hasn't straight up come out and called somebody the N-word. But you know what he has done? He has called coronavirus the Chinese virus. And he doesn't see why that's problematic to the people, his Chinese people that reside in America. This is what happens when we have a leader like that. And that's why I can't get with the people up and down my timeline just telling me Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are going to be even worse, or they're just as bad as Trump. Or their favorite one is, at least we know, which is cool. At least you know somebody is racist is cool for like your neighbor. It doesn't really work when it's the leader of the country. All right. Once you know that about the leader of the country, he got to get up out of here. But you're telling me you don't get... That's a different story I got coming up for you specific people on my timeline, and you know who you are. But what I want to ask the opposition is, what? What now? What do you have to say now? Either you owe the protesters this past summer that were out screaming Black Lives Matter and protesting for, like I said, systemic racism and all that, you owe them an apology, or you need the same criticism and the same energy you gave to those protesters. Whatever happened to Blue Lives Matter? Whatever happened to that? Because did y'all see, did y'all see how they treated our police officers in Washington, D.C.? They just didn't care. They didn't give a hoot about what that man was saying. None of them. Now, some of them opened the gates and let him in, and that's something entirely different. Some of them were snapping it up with him inside the Capitol building, But that's the same reason you don't see Bruce Wayne and Batman in the same place at the same time. We can talk about that later. But the ones that were doing their job, the officers that were actually trying to control what was going on out there, do you see how they were treated? But Blue Lives Matter. This leads me to believe that blue lives actually didn't matter to you at all. Actually, Blue Lives Matter was just another thing to say to combat Black Lives Matter. Because can anybody tell me what Blue Lives Matter means? And this isn't a condemnation on our police officers and law enforcement working around the country, putting their lives on the line. Every day, I have family members, cousins. My father-in-law has been in law enforcement for like the better part of a decade, over a decade, working on two. So no, I'm not against law enforcement. That's crazy. But tell me what Blue Lives Matter means. Because I can tell you what Black Lives Matter means. Black Lives Matter means that for all of the injustices and all of the racism and the crazy things that are thrown Black people's way, it doesn't fall the same when it's a white person. All right. All we want is to be treated as you treat a white person. That's it. We're not saying Black people need to be treated better than white people. We're not saying that Black people are better than white people. We're not saying that Black people are more important than white people. All right. There's a word that should fit into Black Lives Matter. But the opposition wants to put the word at the beginning and make it only. So to them, the phrase reads, only Black Lives Matter. It's absolutely not the case. What it should say is to or also, and be put at the end of the statement saying Black Lives Matter too. That's it. All we want is for somebody to be shot, right? Like, I'm not saying we need to end all crime, because you can't end crime. But that's impossible. I would love world peace, but that's not going to happen. But when crime does happen, we want for there to be justice for the perpetrators, even if the victim is Black. Because do you know what happens? People love to say Black on Black violence. All right, that's not even a thing, but people love to say Black people kill Black people. All right. But do you know what happens when a Black person kills another Black person? Somebody is going to jail. That's it. It's probably not even the right person. Somebody going to jail. But what happens when Trayvon Martin gets killed, or Sean Bell, or any of the, I don't have time to go through the names. What happens when they die? Nothing really. Officer is found not guilty. They can go on about their day. I don't care that they are suspended without pay. I don't care that all their life is hard now. They don't get the proper justice. The families of those Black people don't get the proper justice that that they deserve. This is where Black Lives Matter comes from. But I got off on a tangent. I wasn't even trying to go there. All I'm saying is, you tell me what Blue Lives Matter means, other than just Xing out the word black. Tell me. So, if you're not going to apologize, I just want the same energy for the looters, for the people climbing the wall of our Capitol building. A government building was stormed because our leader told you that the election was stolen and told you it was okay to do it. He didn't say, hey, go storm the Capitol building, but he also said to his radical supporters, stand back and stand by. Instead of, no, I don't condone that. Listen to how Donald Trump condemns people that support Black Lives Matter. And listen to how Donald Trump condemns the Proud Boys. That is so different. And you can tell what he really doesn't care about.